good sort of discussion about this. So what better place to have a discussion than on the couch? Before we start, the video here is sort of just talking over the real benefits of the swing sort of thing that we found. If you flick back all the videos, you'll see this move, and the benefits of this are like out this world. Stops you coming over the top virtually within 3 balls of you discovering it. It will get you striping the ball and gain yardage. You know, you'll just find the middle of the club face. Everything that you're looking in golf for is here in this little magic move. But why we're sitting here talking about something that you will pick up very, very quickly. It's like the greatest magic trick ever in, you know, magic trick history. And when you delve into golf, like what we have here on this channel, the last 5 years or so, everything the years for charity, Macmillan Help the Heroes, Shelter UK, all the ad revenue, things that you've looked at in books and you will have discovered in books, key things that, you know, take for example Ben Hogan's 5 Fundamentals. That's probably the greatest, easiest to follow book for learning the game of golf in the history of golf instruction books. Yeah, pretty much all agree on that. And everyone said, you know, Hogan definitely had to have left something out. Because of all the great players, and I mean every great player, Seve, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, Henry Cotton, Harry Vardon, the list, it's just endless. But none of these players ever liked getting beat. And they would do anything they could to win, to find an edge over other players, to get inside their heads. And if it was match play, within the rules, of course, you know. But what we're really setting to explain to you today is why this method, Harry Vardon, script, everything like that, the one key that you need to, once you've, like you will have found this already for yourself, you're absolutely striping it. But there's one little thing, just a little thing, that you now need more than ever. You see, before you found this move and this swing, your wrists would have a tendency to do this type of motion, or this motion, or this motion. But now, your twitch muscles, your fine twitch muscles, are really like removed almost completely from the golf swing, which is why you're finding that you are striping that ball consistently, long, out the middle, very neutral ball flight. There's only one teeny tiny little thing now that Major League affects it, because you are not able to save a shot as well as you might have done. Now, that is a good thing and a bad thing if you aren't aware of it. And you'll be saying, wow, why did that ball go the way it did off the tee? Maybe you'll have found this yourself playing your golf, and you'll have stood on a tee and you'll have aligned yourself up the fairway as you thought, but maybe that tee is pointing slightly where it shouldn't be, and you've kind of not quite got your alignment right. Well, with this swing, the ball goes true, so your alignment has to be spot on. Remember the video where I was talking about the box? You're standing in this box. you're swinging within this box, right? That way, and that way. You are completely in this box. Now, this is where every book that's been probably wrote always talks about the railway lines. Now, up until this point, you could get away with crossing the railway lines, or let's just say not being 100% perfect with the railway lines, right? You know, you could get away with it because your hands were saving you to a degree. Now, this swing and the move we've got with the Harry Vardon grip and the angle that you're throwing up to your body, you remain in that box. Now, when you're coming through at impact, you're straight down the line, right? There's none of this like, and I just hate the term, oh, exit as far left as you can. Yeah, exit as far left as you can if you want to hook the ball off the planet. Because your wrists are now doing this, right? Completely square neutral. So you now have the ability to, if you slightly close the club face, you'll hit a draw. If you slightly open the club face, you'll hit a fade. Again, you'll learn this yourself as well. Impact on the club face, because you're catching it out the middle, you feel that. If you catch the ball slightly off the toe, just as an example, yes, it will go and slightly draw. It's just the gear mechanics of the club. The curvature or bulge, roll and bulge of the club is designed to give you that, right? That's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. You notice it more with woods, driver, fairway wood, 3-wood, hybrids to a certain degree. It's built in there as a bit of a, shall we say, autopilot, flight control. Think of it like a flight control thing. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because golf courses in general are set up quite good, but occasionally, and on our course, Bridge of Allan, for example, there's at least three tees that point in the completely wrong direction for the hole that you're actually playing. And if you are asleep and not paying attention and you line up on that cut line and you just swing and hit it, that's where that ball's going, the cut line, right? It ain't going where you think you're going because you've set up all wrong in it. Now, you've not swung any incorrect way. It's just that you have swung on that line that you've set yourself up on. So you've got to draw yourself back, walk backwards, tee the ball up, walk backwards from the ball, and have a good look at where you're going, right? And aim yourself, shoulders on and feet on this line, flight line here. Because with this swing, you're constantly in the box and square to square. So you will have noticed this by now, and I'm just sitting here telling you that is it, right? Do you need to take any longer? I don't think you need to take any longer. What I'm saying is, if the ball's lying on the fairway and you're walking up to it, you're behind it already, so you can gauge your line. Now, this is where being a horizon player really helps you, because you see the ball and then you can pick a tree or a church spire or something on the horizon, and you can have that in between that and the target. Therefore, you can check, because the amount of times you'll stand on a tee and you'll realise, but you'll realise after that tee's pointing that way and the hole's that way, right? And you've just hit one straight that way, just as an example. It's very easy to do, and I'll tell you, because golf takes so long, right? Your concentration levels, like a light switch, should be on, off, but you'll have a tendency, because you're playing so well, to try and keep your concentration levels at that level all the way. you've really got to learn to switch on and off in between shots, because you will get to like the 11th, 12th, 13th, usually around about the turn, you hit that patch of 3 little holes that just out of nowhere kind of, and it's mental fatigue rather than physical, right? Because your brain's going, doing well, playing well. You're trying to take so much on board, the wind direction, the ground conditions, right? Everything. So this is going to help you. And I know, it's nothing new talking about like alignment, but with this swing, because you are absolutely using centrifugal force and gravity, and you're actually swinging on a path that pulls you through on the flight line and shoulder line, because your hands are in under your shoulders on the railway line here, and your club is pulled through on the flight line. Yeah, right, you with me? If I had a railway line going up here. So it's more important than ever to just be aware that this has to happen on every shot. If you're lackadaisical about this, you don't have the same ability to save it with your hands. And that's a good thing, because in golf you do not want twitchy muscles coming into anything, especially when you're swinging at 100 mile an hour plus. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it will click. You will go, is that what I've been doing? I can virtually guarantee you that's what's been happening in your game, because it's so easy to like miss a tee point in the wrong direction, or just walk up to a ball and just assume that, because when you're setting up as well on the railway line, shoulder line, flight line, right, the head of the club has to be square on that line, right? You know how you see Ian Poulter using that cross thing where it's like line, 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 square? That's so that he's making sure that his faces club's aiming to target too. Because that little nugget there, the face of the club aiming to where that, with this swing, every force is permeating that club face on the back of that ball on that impact moment, right? Because you're engaging all these forces. Once it's in motion, you ain't stopping it, because it's, as you'll find yourself, club head speed's going up, your control, you're hitting at the sweet spot, your distances, everything. So you need to now be aware that the extra couple of seconds, 20 seconds, we're not talking about taking hours here, for goodness sakes, play golf quickly, but affect the alignment and the aim. Because once you pull the trigger, it's like you're sighting the gun, right? And it's at the target. If you pull the trigger and you know it, that aiming it right, then I'm sorry, it's going that direction, right? That's all I'm saying. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I was trying to keep it fairly short, but you'll get the general. This will all like click in, and you'll be able to build this into your practice by setting up on the range and hitting the same club, but varying your, say, red flag, blue flag, yellow flag, and aiming separately at each one. And if you start hitting them all the time, right, then that is you learning the aim. And I know, because before, you see, aim was like, well, you were swinging in a way that wasn't really repeating all the time, and you were getting a different swing all the time. Now you're getting a swing that repeats, right, all the time, and the strike repeats, right? You with me? So now the only error you can make is just a lack of concentration, and you've not aimed that ball right. Okay, so enjoy your golfing, for goodness sakes, because listen, the comments I'm getting, you're all getting it, and you're all enjoying your game. And I tell you, once you've got this, like I say, just run with it, because it's like best feeling ever, and it doesn't leave you week on, week out. You don't need to have endless hours of practice. You know, you'll pick it up, you'll loosen yourself up within 5 minutes, and you'll be ready for the course. Thanks for watching.